Hi, Priya. Thank you so much for joining me today here. Uh, you know, we I've always looked up to you, as an inspiration. I've worked with you, I've talked to you, I've like thought of you as my mentor at work and beyond. And last year, when you were diagnosed, when you broke the news, I mean, it was heartbreaking for me. I think I reacted more than you were reacting at that time. But you know, I think the way you've dealt with your ordeal over the past 1 year or so has been a true inspiration for me. I mean, I don't know that when I come to the same bridge someday, maybe, will I have the same kind of strength and attitude? I am not really entirely sure. But today it would really help if you could just tell me how, what is your story behind, getting diagnosed with breast cancer, and living through that experience. Where did it all start?
Okay, so Ashi, first of all, thanks for inviting me, and happy to share my story because it's something that I've always spoken about. I don't think I've ever felt very shy about telling people,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, I think it's always worked for the best. So, interestingly enough, I no symptoms, nothing. One day I'm changing at night for bed, and I feel a lump in my left breast, and I was like, mentally, I'm like, okay, I know I need to get this checked out. I have enough awareness about it. I also have, I do have a number of cases of cancer in my family, and also the awareness is there. So, I mean, to be very honest, it was from the day I felt my lump to the day I got my biopsy diagnosed was 1 week, 7 days, which I must say, hats off to my doctors and everyone. Everyone worked really fast. There was no, oh, it's okay, take it easy. Dekho agar hai ki nahi hai, jayega. There was nothing. They said, fine, check it. So the way it works is after I got a lump, I went to my doc. She did a clinical exam, wasn't able to figure out what it was. Told me to do an ultrasound because sometimes you have cysts filled with liquids, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's a solid, you'll be able to make out the difference. When I do the ultrasound, the doctor there says, can't make out what it is, please get the mammogram done. So the doctor said, do an ultrasound and a mammogram.
Mm-hmm.
When I did the mammogram, again, you have something called a BIRADS rating.
Mm.
So BIRADS. So a
Acha.
rating you'll get a one. There's a 1:6 rating, I think, and anything from 3 and above essentially means that it is a cancerous tumor.
Okay.
Um, Anything below that means it could be benign. It's just like a lump. And I think I got a rating of 1. So I remember my husband like, "Yay, 1 means that's good, right? Because we know 5 is bad." And then we actually read out about 1 and we figure out that that basically says it's uncertain. They don't know what it is. So basically,
Oh.
1 means that you need to investigate further. So that was the brief. I think 2 minutes of, yeah, it's all okay. And then we went back home, sent it to my doc. She said, go meet this oncologist. So I went to
Uh-huh.
Manipal,
Uh-huh.
um, met the doctor, and I'm looking at him. He does a clinical exam, and then he says, you should do a biopsy. So I said, okay, fine. He's like, if you're free right now, and we're talking about this at 7:30 at night. Okay. So after
Mm.
work, I'm gone from the hospital over there. He was busy in a surgery. He's like, do the biopsy right now. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, if an oncologist is saying do a biopsy right now, it's because in his mind he's already at a certain point, right? He's not just going
Correct.
to tell you.
Correct.
Otherwise, he'll be
Uh-huh.
like, it's okay. So I go, I get the biopsy done.
At
Two
that
days
night
later, we go back.
itself.
Correct.
Oh.
So Thursday I meet my gynae. Tuesday I'm getting the biopsy done.
Wow.
They like come back on Thursday because you'll have the biopsy results. So we get back there, and there it's identified as stage 2 breast cancer. These are the kind of tumors we are seeing. There are a couple of other further details required because even within breast cancer there are different types of breast cancer. Some are
Hmm.
hormone driven, some are not, etc., etc.
Hmm.
So we wait, I think in a couple of days we got the second result. So what I was diagnosed with was triple negative breast cancer. And by that,
Hmm.
basically, if it's hormone driven, you have something called ER positive, which is estrogen, PR positive, which is progesterone. So there's ER, PR, and I think there's another, I can't remember the third thing, I think HR, something like that. So
Hmm.
basically you can be ER positive, PR positive, and I was negative on all counts, which means that none of my cancer wasn't driven by anything to do with hormones. Also, I mean, just I guess for reference, the year I was diagnosed is the year I turned 40, which is well 2019 now, so last year. And that's also the year I remember thinking, okay, now I'm 40, I need to get a mammogram done. Ye sab karana hai, I'm educated, I should
Oh,
do this. I was like, damn it, just before I start getting everything checked out, it happens.
yeah,
But
time ही
anyway,
नहीं दिया
so
birthday के बाद. Oh.
exactly. So I meet the doctor and they're like, so then I did a little bit of research, and so triple negative is a fairly aggressive cancer. And in fact, one of the things about it is it in between two mammograms also, because you have an annual mammogram, it can start and spread. It's not like it's not a slow
Mm-hmm.
growing one. So
Mm-hmm.
my doctor said that we will treat this quite aggressively because we really want to kill it as fast as possible. And the good news, of course, being that this kind of cancer responds very well to chemo.
अच्छा.
So my doctor basically told me, he said, we'll do chemo first,
Hmm.
then you'll have surgery, and then you'll have radiation. So I said, fair enough. And for chemo, I went through 16 rounds of chemo. So there was something called AC. I can't remember the exact thing. I'll share that with you
That's right.
later. But
Yeah,
basically, that was every 2 weeks. So that's really the killer one. And again, because it's an aggressive cancer, we did something called double dose, which means instead of your typical 3 week between cycle, I was on 2 week between cycles. So I'd have it 2 weeks and then I'd have it. So that was 8 weeks. And then on a weekly basis, I had to have my the second medication.
yeah.
So so that was fine. Then the other thing they also do is triple negative. You also do a genetic test for that. You have
Hmm.
something called a BRCA gene. If there is a BRCA gene mutation, you're at higher risk for breast cancer, pancreatic cancer, ovarian cancer, and prostate cancer. So if you're a guy, obviously for prostate cancer. So there's a BRCA1 mutation and BRCA2 mutation, and then your risk profile varies. I turned out to be positive for a BRCA1 mutation. If you are positive for a BRCA1 mutation, your risk for breast cancer is about 83% higher than the normal population.
Wow.
So that's in my mind, that's kind of like boss hone hi wala hai type of thing. And with triple negative, so typically called TNBC, after you finish your treatment, your highest risk is for the first 3 years of recurrence. After that, the next 2 years it's lower, and after that it kind of becomes okay. So the monitoring they do is also much higher for TNBC because your risk is quite high. So okay, so that was the chemo, surgery, radiation. Now, of course, you go to a doctor, you find out about it. I was like, listen, I want to talk to another doctor because better to get two
Hmm.
opinions,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm. Hmm.
एक ही
Hmm.
बंदे से मिलके, there's that always slight averseness. I was very, very lucky through one of my office colleagues. I was able to have a conversation with the medical director of Tata Memorial. Now, I
Okay.
don't know if people are familiar, but Tata Memorial is one of the foremost cancer hospitals in the country on from oncology. They treat like thousands of people. They do a tremendous amount of research. I mean, they're considered one of the best. So I was really thrilled.
Hmm.
So of course, spoke to that doctor, and he's like, "Acha, why are you doing chemo first? Pehle surgery kara lo." And I was
Oh,
like, "Shit, yeah." So you go to a
yeah.
second doctor, and then you're like, "Now he's telling me something little different. Now how do I go back to my real doctor and be like,
Correct.
no, I
Huh?
spoke to someone else. How do I sort that out?" That's a very awkward conversation to have.
It is. Yeah,
Um,
that always happens with the second opinion. Who do I
yeah, and
trust
especially
more?
yeah, and the thing is, you expect him to say the same thing, right? That's why I've gone to reassure yourself. When he says something different, you're like, hmm.
Hmm.
So again, but I was quite lucky. So now what I've realized is with my oncologist, Dr. Somashekar of Manipal. So he's very, very well known, very well respected in his field. And as you realize, beyond a certain point, all these top guys tend to know each other also. So when I
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
spoke to Dr. Badwe, he was like, "Oh yeah, I know Somashekar." I was like, "Acha, so why don't you do one thing? Send me an email. फिर मैं वो print करके I'll show it to my doctor saying, this guy has said this kind of thing."
Yeah, like
So
the email trail works every
exactly, you
time.
can see hedging your bets kind of thing.
Okay.
So as a good corporate person, I got that done. And I went and met my dog because I said, I want to understand your reasoning for this. And one of the things I always tell people, I'm like, ask questions because till you ask the questions, you're not really going to understand. And doctors have a logic and they're willing to share it. They just don't know how much you want to hear. So I asked
Hmm.
my guy, I said, tell me about this. So he said, see, with triple negative, when we treat you with chemo first, your tumor will shrink ideally, right?
Hmm.
When we do the surgery, at the point of surgery, we will send the sample to the lab, and they will let us know if they're still seeing cancer cells or if they're seeing clean margins.
Hmm.
Which,
Hmm.
if you do the surgery first, you have no idea. because
Hmm.
basically you've taken out the lump and then you're assuming that the chemo will kill everything. Whereas when you do the chemo first and you're doing the surgery, so it actually gives us a reassurance. And if they still find cancer cells, then I would have been put on oral medication.
Acha.
So it gives them a definitive thing saying, okay, you had the chemo, but it didn't clear everything. Now you need oral medication for some months. So the logic seemed perfectly fine. And I was like, I just wanted to understand what was going on. So
Mm-hmm.
that was about it. And I have to tell you, I also met a third doctor, but that's a different story.
Okay.
Um,
No, but see,
you know,
you're feeling through so many. I mean, whatever you've described till now, your emotional graph is going up, down all the time, and it is exhausting. So, how
it
did
is.
you, matlab, the need to reach out to another doctor? Obviously, some fears are driving that. So, what were you feeling at that time? What was your headspace like?
See, to be very honest, so the first thing that happens when you get something like this, which is very typical, is you end up Googling everything like crazy. Okay.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Um, everyone does that now. And I think that's a good way to get information, but it's also a good way to get completely overwhelmed and not know what's going on. So
Mm-hmm.
there was this thing when, when we got the diagnosis, I was Googling and reading up about stuff. Then when the doctor tells me something, I'm reading about it. And you're just, the basic thing I'm wondering is, what's the right thing to do? Do I just follow the
Mm-hmm.
doctor? Is there something else? And as you're sharing it with family, and this can be overwhelming, you're just getting a lot of advice. So first of all, everyone gets really upset. And for
Yeah,
me, it was a lot harder to deal with other people's emotions than my own. Because in my
yeah.
mind, I was like, okay, and this is also a part of what I'm like, okay, problem hai. My doctor says it can be sorted. So let's focus on that. I
The
didn't spend
way
too much time
forward,
thinking of,
basically. Yeah.
yes, yeah. And for me, maybe that's the way I deal with my emotions is to say, okay, I need to spend my energy on what I can do versus saying, oh, why me and all of that, because that's not of any help. I have two
Mm,
kids at home. My daughters were 9 and 5. Yeah, 9 and 5 at that point.
yeah.
So there's, things have to be as normal for them as possible because they will not understand what's going on.
Mm,
So for me, dealing with other people feeling a little bad was a little hard. But to be very honest, I'm very lucky. Like my husband, there was no major like, oh my god and all of that. My mom was
mm-hmm.
also, I'm sure in private they had their up down moments, but they never showed it to
Mm,
me. They were like, okay, what do you
mm-hmm.
need? We'll help you with what you need.
Mm,
um so for me, there was a little bit of shock,
mm,
but I have seen it in my family, so I do know that it happens.
mm,
um I also, very honestly, very lucky. I mean, I'm covered by medical insurance. We have a house, we're close to a hospital. So I didn't have any barriers, right? My focus and my energy could be on the treatment. So I think in
correct.
that sense, I'm quite lucky. I didn't need to worry, okay, insurance, paisa, this, that. So that's I think it's a big relief if you don't have those things. You can really
Okay.
focus on your treatment kind of thing.
And so,
So
how were your daughters? How were they coping with this entire thing? And what was your sort of? Kiki, there's one thing that adults will understand, but kids
yeah.
need reassurance. I don't know whether you know you, you
um
were feeling their
I
pain more.
So very, very honestly, I mean, I was very upfront. I said I will tell my children because they need to
Hmm.
hear about it from me.
Hmm.
And there's nothing in this to not tell people, right? It's
Hmm.
not like funny ki baat hai, at least in my mind.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, to
Hmm.
each their own, obviously. So I did tell them, and so strangely enough, and this is I think a reflection of our times. My father-in-law had been diagnosed with cancer, and he used to stay quite close to us. They moved to Bangalore to be with us, and so they had seen him. He passed away a couple of years back. My mom's youngest sister, very close to me, my aunt, she has been battling cancer for a number of years, so it's been
Hmm.
up
Hmm.
down.
Hmm.
So they've heard about it. So when I told the kids, I was like, but I wanted to just tell you, I've had some tests and this is what's happened and I have to have treatment and all. And they were both like, oh, like Dadu and Kanchimaushi. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, they
I was
remember
quite
they've
shocked.
registered all of that.
They've registered, yes, and I was quite shocked. Okay, I was like, I had not made that connect, right? That I didn't think they
Yeah.
would. So they said okay, and I think the advantage is they'd seen like my father-in-law would still be active. He'd be walking around, while he could, he'd do stuff. My
Mm-hmm.
aunt is super active when she comes. So in their mind, there was no thing of it'll really change our lives because they had seen people with
Ah,
it, and so their experience was that ठीक है, there'll be treatment. And I told them, I said, I'm going to have treatment. There are days I'll not feel well, I'll be lying in bed, I'll be sleeping, and that's what it's going to be. And I said,
I
plus, I
know.
really don't know the side effects. Jo hoga, we'll figure it out at that point. So I
Okay.
was, to be very honest, I think my kids took it better than anyone.
I
Um,
know.
eh,
Thank God for them, seriously.
yeah,
Uh,
and for in their mind, life goes on. So the same things that they wanted to ask me about, the things that would irritate me, for them it continued. So that gets a sense of normalcy, which I think was very important for me also.
hmm.
To see that with them.
Yeah, yeah,
So
true.
yeah.
Yeah, so but in your entire journey, Priya, so what was the major? So just say, so you mentioned that you are okay financially, everything is doable, etc., etc. But there would be at least I'm very sure, even though you don't recollect it, but there would have been certain things that you would have thought, "Oh my God, I can't do this," but then gone ahead and do it anyway.
Oh gosh, yeah. I think yeah. I mean, if I there were, so you have to do the treatment. So and you're kind of like you mentally do it- do it for yourself. But I would remember when the chemo would get done, right? Because basically
Hmm.
you're putting crap in your system. And
Hmm.
I'd finish and I'd be like, I know for the next 2 days I'm going to be lying in bed. I'm going to be feeling nauseous. It's going to be this, and I'd just be like, I don't want to do this. Like
Hmm.
I just
Okay.
don't want to do this. So you go through this mental thing of you know it's to help you, but it's really hard because after the first couple of times you know what's going to happen to your body. So it's like if you
Hmm.
fall somewhere, going to that place makes you nervous. So every time I had to go to the hospital, I'd be like, okay. And I remember telling my husband for the last chemo, I said, you're going to have to tie me up and take me there for the last cycle because I'm like done. And I think some of the side effects are hard. Like, so between chemo cycles, you have to have injections to increase your white blood cell count.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
and a lot of these things I didn't know about till it happened. So थोड़ा मुझे
Hmm.
shock लगता था कि oh god. So like between the first and the second cycle I was having like for 6 days I had to have 6 injections, and I was like, oh my god. Then in between I got blood clots, and then to ease that up I had to have injections morning and night. So these are the things that you actually dread. Like
Yeah.
you're kind of saying I don't want to do this, or so I had an incident where my pot, so there was leakage of the medication. There was a very severe burn, and in fact that I found the most painful because that used to pain me. Like it was genuinely just hurting. And I'd ask my doctor, I'm like, can I get something to some pain? And they'd give me a Dolo, and I'm like,
Dolo.
Dolo se kuch nahi hone wala. That's just for a headache. And they're like, okay, and this and that. So these are the things that you find, like it's the smaller pieces that are hard because it's continuous. There's
Yeah.
you're going to be throwing up for the next 2 days in the morning, and you're like, oh. So those are the things that I found, for
Hmm.
me those were the harder ones, that I
So
know what's going to happen,
yeah.
and you're still.
So getting yourself mentally prepared for another round of chemo, even though it is taking a toll on your body. So,
Absolutely,
but you did it
absolutely. And then
anyway, right?
as I said, it has to be done. Like my second round of chemo medication, you get joint pain and body ache.
Hmm.
And as it kind of adds up, the medication, accumulates. And by the last, I think 4 rounds, I'll just be lying and your body is aching. And you're like, I can't do another round. I just can't do it. And then you get up in the morning, like, chalo karte hain.
Okay.
And then for the
Yeah.
rest of the week, I
Yeah.
can't. Just do it. And then you're like, yeah, okay, forget it.
Um,
I'll finish this next round and then think about it. I think
yeah.
just kind of telling yourself at each point that it's going to end is the only thing you can do. But
Um,
it is hard, and then you don't want to upset other people by being, oh, this is hurting, that is hurting. It's a very downward spiral in my mind.
it
See,
is.
and then you start thinking in that, so for everything you're like, oh shit. So it's better to yeah, that was a one hard one. And I think I think it's that physical discomfort that gets to people, that
How it's sustained physical discomfort, so it is very
correct,
difficult to live with pain, no matter
correct,
what people say, but it is very difficult
correct.
to live with
And
pain.
very silly things, right? Because you have no sense of taste during chemo.
Oh,
So yeah, so basically everything tasted metallic to me. So it doesn't
oh,
really matter what you're having. It all tastes like crap basically. So people are like, what do you want to eat? I'm like, मेरा कोई taste नहीं है, मुझे कुछ भी दे दो. And that, to be honest, is something that my doc was telling me about other people. She said
uh,
this is what causes people to stop eating as much, and then they lose weight, and then your immunity goes down. So it's a cycle. So she'd be like, whatever happens,
oh,
just make sure you're having stuff.
at
So I
least
do remember when I
nutritious
got my
stuff, yeah, whatever, yeah.
exactly. So when I got my sense of taste back, I can't tell you the crap I ate. Just like, oh my god, I can taste chaat. Oh my god, I can taste that. Like, so there was that excitement towards that thing. But
Yeah, so what did
yeah,
you eat the first when you got your sense of taste back? You were really
oh
looking
my
forward to
god.
it.
Oh, for me, street food, man, like pani puri, all
I
of that stuff. That
know.
khatta beta, you
I
miss that.
know. Yeah, good, good. I'm sure so I'm sure your family is very, very proud of you. But what is yeah, sorry, go ahead. You were saying something.
I don't think they're proud of me.
I
But
think they're very
no,
proud of you. If
yeah,
I can
I,
feel that sense of pride just by knowing you, so I can't even imagine how proud they are
yeah, I mean,
feeling.
I have a lot of support. Yeah, and I'll be very honest. For me, my family was very supportive. I have friends who were very supportive. It made a real difference to me. When you're thinking about it, you tend to get into your own mind is to,
Hmm.
people will be like, come out, meet me for coffee. You want to do something, you want to eat something, you want anything. I mean, I always had people who were reaching out to me, and for me, that was tremendous. Just
Hmm.
sending a message to me. I think of the 5 months, I think almost 4 months every week. I mean, I would meet someone for coffee. I'd go to one place close to my house, but I would get out. I would, learn, ask about other things, get out of your thing, because being in your own mind is the worst place to be. Because you're
Yeah,
sitting
yeah.
there and you're like, oh man, this, that. So it's
So meeting people helps just to keep things in
correct.
perspective and
Correct. And you can talk about what's happening to you, and that makes a difference. Otherwise, if I do know of cases where people have not shared it with other people, and I'm just thinking, I'm like, I can't imagine the stress and the burden on that person, because you can't talk about it, right? And it's such a big thing happening to you, and if you can't even share it with someone, somewhere it's going to impact you.
yeah, yeah, it's
It's not
keeping
something
it
that you can
bottled
just
up.
exactly, talking to people about it, sharing stories, and one big thing you realize is how many things different people have going on, right?
Exactly,
when
yeah.
when you share your stories, people feel comfortable enough to share it. That's when you're like, okay. So it's everyone has something happening. There is no one in this world who is super untouched. Bahar, however you look, there is something going on.
That is so
So
true.
for
That
me, it
is
was very cathartic to talk about it, get it out, even out, and say, okay, um, it's helped me.
good. So when you searched, I know you Googled a lot, but when you searched for like stories of Indian women going through cancer, did you find a
Oh
lot
Lord.
of references?
Oh God, I found zero. Okay, I would, so like before my surgery, during my chemo, I would Google so much just to get understand, is what's happening to me normal? Is this regular? Because I'm like, I have no comparison, right? And when you talk to the doctor, they're like, oh, everyone reacts differently. Which, yes, I know, thank you very much, but
Yeah,
still.
they won't know
And
what you're doing. Yeah.
yeah, no, and the doctors are also right. So everyone reacts differently, so they'll never tell you 100% ye hoga. So I wanted to read blog articles, and I did not find anything from India. Okay, it was all from the US, and people were sharing a lot, because I guess they write a lot more or whatever. And I really struggled. Okay, because for example, after my surgery, so I had this lumpectomy, blah 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 blah, and I'm reading people's accounts. Okay, and they're like, okay, went in the morning, had my surgery, got home, got up in the morning, took a Tylenol, and went to work. And I'm like, boss, I am lying
What?
in bed for 10 days in pain, and I'm like, getting Gaurav, I'm like talking to my husband, I'm like, am I the biggest wimp on the planet? So there were just no references, so I struggled with getting any Indian or even Asian, I would say. I mean, the most of the stuff you find is all very American, European, which is fine, but their systems are different. The way they do stuff is different. So that's one of the reasons I also talk about it, to say that it's probably happening to lots of people, but share your story.
Yeah, I
Like
completely agree because yeah, unless we have the context, unless we know somebody that we
correct.
can talk to, it is like you said, being in our own head, what do I do next?
Yes,
Because
yes,
irrespective, I mean, you have a lot of support systems in place and things like that, but uh, the fear that you felt is probably yours alone, right? So at every
yeah,
point in the journey, there would be a sense of that, what if not, right? So, yeah.
correct. No, that's very true. And just reading about other people's account would have helped a lot, even if I couldn't relate to them. And I was just thinking, I said, if I had read about people in India, I would have felt a lot better, because you
Hmm.
you just feel that systems are different. The approaches can be different, and uh, yeah, I didn't find a lot, and I struggled with that quite a bit. I'll be honest.
Yeah. No, good to know, and I think that's why it's so important that you are sharing your story. किसी को तो मिलेगी. For me, I think even if like so, literally, I think the number is 1 9 in 100 women get diagnosed with breast cancer for India. I think that was the statistic that I remember
Maybe
reading.
higher than that
Higher than
probably,
that, you
because
should.
it is I remember it's what I call the common cold of cancers.
Yes,
It
you call
literally
that.
is, it's got a huge number and more. I think so. I think lung and breast cancer are the two highest killers within the cancer world. So you'll read a lot
Oh,
about unusual cases, but these common ones are just there.
okay,
So
okay. Yeah,
yeah.
so I'm wondering like why don't we hear anybody speak up about it? Yeah, people go on medical leaves, or I mean we are in the working sector, people go on medical leaves, but we never come to know what happened, what did they go through, etc., etc. So yeah, this is tremendous. I think more and more people should come and tell their stories. Uh, Priya, one question. So, is there anything that good came out of it? And any good thing that you have picked up as a habit or as a thing that you've acquired, whatever it is that that this
do
journey
do
gave you?
frequent do frequent flyer miles at my hospital count? But no, I mean, I think so. For me, very honestly, I was fairly young compared to most people. You know, really, I was an avid gymmer, this that. So a lot of that helped me recover faster.
Hmm.
But I think a big thing that's kind of come out for me is one is I focus on my health now. And when I say health, I mean just in terms of making sure that I get exercise, I'm, getting my fresh air, eating good food, regular, home, that kind of stuff, which is something everyone tells you to do. But I'm very focused on that because I'm like, boss, no one is as concerned about my health and my well-being as I am, you know. So you need to kind of do what works for you. That's one thing.
Hmm.
So I always tell people, I'm like, don't wait till you have a problem, right? So
Hmm.
just do this as a part of the thing. Second thing, for me has been I tell my husband, I'm like, let's do it now. Pata nahi kya 5 saal mein ho jayega, so everyone talks about this, oh, you never know, but I don't think you realize what that means till you have gone through a
No.
situation where you really think, I will not be here, or I may not be in a position to do things later on. I would like
Yeah.
to say it's made me more patient with my children, but it hasn't. I'm patient for all of 5 seconds before I start yelling at them, so no positives there.
No.
But I think one thing is I do talk about what's happened, and I always do tell women, I'm like, find out your medical history, figure out what you're at risk, or talk to your doctor and find out these things. Uh, God forbid anything happens, better you catch it soon. So I've
Hmm.
become one of those advocates for uh, talking about things that I'm not sure everyone always wants to hear about. Um, Other than that, to be honest, no. I mean, it's something that happened. I came through it, touch wood. It wasn't the greatest of experience, but it worked. So far things are going well. But as I said, I for everyone, and I tell that, I'm like, no one is as invested in your health as you are. That's it.
That is true.
So
Yeah.
so don't wait for something to happen. Uh, do what you need to do because you already know it. I mean, and I'm talking about people who are aware and know this and know that, and they're like, "Acha, baad mein karenge." So
Hmm.
don't put it off.
True, true. Uh, Priya, so do you have any advice? So I think you've covered it, but do you have any advice for women who might be getting diagnosed with breast cancer now and are feeling overwhelmed by it?
So I think, to be honest, the only thing I would say is don't get overwhelmed. Take it one step at a time. Yeah, focus on the
Hmm.
next thing that you need to do. Okay, so
Hmm.
don't try to say, oh my God, it's 8 months of treatment, it's so many cycles. Say, I just need to get through the next cycle. So focus on that. Um, Ask questions to your doctor, right? Why are we doing this? What can I do? Because the other thing that I've seen is you get a lot of ये खाओ ये मत खाओ ये करो वो करो. It becomes too much to deal with. So I had people say, oh, have chicken soup or never touch non-veg. Acha, do yoga, no, do breathing. Acha, have this, don't have that. And a lot of this is like you don't know what to listen to, right? So when I get about this, I'll actually go to my doctor and be like, please tell me, what do I do? And she'd be like, just live your normal life. you know.
Hmm.
She said
Hmm.
don't get, because it can get a lot to deal with your treatment, your family, plus all this advice. So I really learned, to be very honest, to listen to people, smile in from 1 year, out for the next year. Things that I thought I could do, I did. Things that I didn't, I let go. Yeah.
Oh, that's
One
actually
other,
quite brilliant as a life learning.
yeah, and the other thing is ask for help. Everyone has a support system which you're probably not even aware of till you reach out, and it's
Hmm.
not just you, your family, it'll be your friends, it'll be, friends of your parents. There are a number of people out there, so if you need help, ask for it. I did have a bit of a superwoman syndrome, in terms of, oh, I'll still get the kids ready for school and make their tiffins and do the breakfast, and then I was like, why am I killing myself? There is, the other parent is also here, I just need to say ye karo and he'll do it. So ask for help and don't be the nothing has changed kind of person.
Hmm.
And I think, yeah, I mean, don't try to figure out 10 saal mein kya hoga. Next step, get over it. Be in touch with your doctor and do what works for you.
Okay.
Uh, if people are telling you do this, do that, and you're not able to do it, just stop and say, you know what, can't do it, don't want to do it. There's absolutely no harm in pausing and saying this cannot be done right now, I will get to it in a bit. There is, very honestly, we do feel the need to prove ourselves. Oh, I
Yeah.
did this and I did that and all, and there's no value in that at the end. you
Yeah.
know so with hindsight now, I'm like, oh shit, I should have seen more TV, I should have done more this, and then I'm thinking that actually that one I was just lying around on the sofa being one, basically being a lump. you know um so yeah. And as I say, like for me, my focus this year, has last year actually, has been a lot on my health, etc. And it's bit by bit. So don't, through your treatment, you're going to get hammered. Accept
Hmm.
that. After
Hmm.
your treatment, just focus on bit by bit changing back to get back to what you were. And to be
Hmm.
honest, at the end, at the back of my mind, I'm like, if this comes back again, I need to be stronger and better than what I was the first time. That's a
And
huge
you are,
motivator, by the way.
and you are actually. So I think you're back at work 100%, and that would probably be the least of your priorities while going through all your treatment and things
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So that speaks a lot. Good. Good. Thank you, Priya. I don't have any more questions for you, but thank you so much. It has been so nice talking to you. So nice seeing you. And yeah, I did like your wigs a lot.
Oh yes, my wigs, my God. I was so, when I was going bald, I was like, I need a wig, I need a wig. Okay, so I found one super expensive one here. I think through some cousin in the US, I ordered one, and I was super
Wow,
paranoid. And I
really?
think I literally ended up wearing it like 10 times. Okay, because I was just very comfortable with my bald head. I was like, ठीक है यार, अभी बाल नहीं है क्या कर सकते हो? you know so I would just go everywhere with my bald head, and I still look at my wigs and I think to myself, I'm like, this was the biggest waste of money, man. Like literally. But
I liked it. I didn't, yeah,
but
I know.
yeah, yeah, but for me it was this whole mental thing of, oh, if I want, I had it, so people don't stare at me. But yeah,
Yeah,
it
a
was a huge thing.
comfort.
And I was actually quite lucky when I finally, because all my hair was falling out in clumps. I just went finally to my hairdresser. I said, please just take it all off, because this clumpy thing I can't deal with. And of
Yeah,
course, let me
yeah.
tell you, my maid would be sweeping. She'd be like, Didi, kitne baal nikal rahe? And I'd be
वो
like, Mary,
एक
मैंने
अलग टेंशन.
yeah, yeah. And I'd be like, मैंने कहा था. She's like, हाँ दीदी, पर कितने निकल रहे हैं? And I was like, okay, I can't deal with your trauma right now. So I went to get my head shaved, and actually, my best friend came with me, and she was like, okay, even I'm getting my head shaved.
Oh,
So I was like, listen, you have hair like literally to your, below your shoulder. She's like, no, it's okay. I'm going to shave it. So we literally walked out of us, both of us with head shaved, and everyone's
wow,
like, okay.
wow,
So
that is so amazing.
yeah, these things are what they just kind of show you that, as I said, the support is there, the people are there.
Yeah, you just have to
We
reach
really need it.
out.
So also, I think one thing to everyone
Hmm.
who's a caregiver for other people,
Yeah,
which is that, please take time for yourself. You also need your own break. You don't have to be on duty all the time. You are also allowed to get angry and irritated and frustrated and want to yell at the people and all of that. So, pick up a hobby where you're beating the hell out of something, like, a boxing bag or something, you'll feel better. But I think more importantly, you also need to take a break. So don't
yeah,
always take on the burden. If you need help, you should also ask for it.
yeah, yeah. That is so true. We often, yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah,
Good.
it.
Yeah, bolo bolo. Sorry.
No, thank you, Arshi, for as you know, I like to talk and talk and talk. But it's been a pleasure, and any more questions, anyone ever wants to reach out to me, feel free to, well, reach Arshi and she'll reach me. I am not sharing details
Yes,
right now.
thank